Hello and welcome back into Foolish Club Media. I'm Steven Serda, joined by my guy Rocky Magaña. And Rocky, week 4 is in the books for the Kansas City Chiefs. They improved to 2-2 on the season. For 3 weeks, the NFL world had written the Chiefs off, saying that they were a talentless, false dynasty that was being held back by general manager Brett Veach and Andy Reid's poor play calling and archaic offensive system that simply didn't work in the NFL anymore. And then they go out on Sunday against a 1-2 Baltimore Ravens team that is extremely talented. I will admit, very injured, and even more so after today, like the Ravens might be in real trouble moving forward here. But you can't control those kinds of things. The Chiefs dominated this game after the Ravens scored on their opening drive touchdown. After that, the Chiefs had their number at every turn. The defense played lights out. Steve Spagnuolo was all over everything the Ravens wanted to do offensively. And then the Chiefs on the offensive side of the ball, Rocky, this is probably the most impressive offensive performance we've seen from the Chiefs in like a year and a half. Like, it was that impressive, and Xavier Worthy made a massive difference for this Kansas City Chiefs team, and we saw how much he matters for this offense and how much he opens things up and how much easier it makes everything. They looked like a totally different team today, Rocky. And so everybody who was forecasting the Chiefs' demise, I think they're going to be pretty quiet on Monday, Rocky. I don't think there's going to be a lot of Chiefs haters after this performance against the Baltimore Ravens.
I don't know, Steve. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Patrick Mahomes did get benched in the fourth quarter after all, you know.
He did give up a 70-yard touchdown.
This was an awesome game, and it was a lot of fun to watch. And Steve Spagnuolo, for 2 straight weeks now, he's just been in his bag. And of course, last week you were like, oh, well, it was just the Giants. Well, just the Giants beat the Chargers today, right? You know, and Steve Spagnuolo had the perfect game plan for Lamar Jackson after watching what the Lions did to him last week. He did the exact same thing. And it was Lamar Jackson injured, that their whole season is in question. But even with him coming back, he's got to figure some stuff out, because it looks like the league has finally figured out Lamar Jackson's number, and he was completely ineffective today. He looked rattled. He didn't know what to do. He doesn't like throwing into tight coverages, and the Chiefs pretty much called his number on that. On the offensive side of the ball, there was a lot of people on social media after 2 weeks into the season saying, and even the first half last week saying, and we're supposed to expect Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice to fix all of this. And the answer was always yes. Yes, we do expect them to fix all of this, because although the offense wasn't perfect today, having a guy like Xavier Worthy in the game who can stretch the field and have 3 plays of 20+ yards covers a multitude of sins, right? And we have a guy like Rashee Rice who has a yards after catch ability when he comes back. He's going to cover a multitude of sins, and he frees up guys like Tyquan Thornton and Hollywood Brown to make plays, right? And Juju Smith-Schuster. Like hats off to the offense. Everybody played great football today. They even ran the ball pretty well. But yeah, no, just having a guy like Xavier Worthy back in the offense, this is the first time all year that we've seen the version of the offense that the Chiefs expected to have for the first 6 weeks of this season. And after seeing it, well, it's pretty damn good. No wonder they were okay with letting Rashee Rice take the first 6 games off, because if they would have had this the first 3 weeks, the Chiefs would probably be sitting at 4-0 right now.
Yeah. It was in well over a calendar year, Sunday was the most impressive offensive showing that we have seen from this Chiefs team. And it's for years now, Rocky, it's been, the Chiefs aren't doing enough. You know, they busted on Sky Moore, and they haven't put enough pieces around Patrick Mahomes since they traded away Tyreek Hill. Like Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Juju Smith-Schuster were like their big answers. But the Chiefs have been taking the swings, Rocky, and it was so awesome to see Worthy taking this step as a player in year number 2 because it just got delayed. Like, we knew coming into week 1 that he was going to be this offense was going to be built around him for the first 6 weeks before they get Rashee Rice back. And a lot of people were sitting here saying, oh, Worthy's just like a deep threat. He's just a down the field player. And like, you could see glimpses of it last year, Rocky. He's not just like a speed demon deep threat where he can only win in a straight line. Like, Xavier Worthy is a talented wide receiver. Like, he can get open. He can break tackles despite his size. Like, he is shifty in space, and he's a good route runner. He can also is athletic enough to go up and get the football, like, for a guy his size. Like, we saw today, like, what I think me and you knew, Rocky, but other people seem to be doubting, and that's like, Xavier Worthy is an extremely talented wide receiver, and like what we saw today, once they have Rashee Rice back, like, that's the future of this Chiefs passing attack, is Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, and we needed this kind of performance so bad for the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, Rocky, I picked the Chiefs to lose this game because I thought the Ravens were going to be more desperate than the Chiefs to not fall to 1-3. And yes, Lamar Jackson leaves this game with a hamstring injury. Roquan Smith, Marlon Humphrey also leave. They lost another cornerback on top of the fact that they already had a bunch of injuries. Like, this Ravens team is falling apart, but I am not going to use that as an excuse to try to discount the way the Chiefs dismantled them, because that's not what happened today. Like, the Chiefs came in, they were prepared to go toe-to-toe with this team. They had a great game plan. The best game plan I think they put together as a staff and as an offense and defense all season long. And they executed everything today. Like, aside from a couple of minor mistakes that I'm not going to bitch about because this was such an impressive performance, like, this is one of the best all-around games we've seen them put together in years. And I think it should scare everybody in the NFL.
Oh, 100%. And here's the thing, like, yeah, you can sit there, you could, like, yeah, was Mahomes perfect? No, Mahomes wasn't perfect. But here's the deal. For every miss that he had 3 or 4 plays where you were just like, holy cow, like, that's an amazing play. Like him throwing that touchdown to Smith-Schuster in the window that he had in the first half was an amazing throw. It was one of the best touchdown throws he's had in a while. And then on top of that, like they had a chance to really put the game out of reach in the first half. And they kind of like the only reason why I'm bringing up something they messed up on is because they really had a chance to put the game out of reach in the first half. And they kind of just like crapped the bed on it and didn't do that. Right. And they kind of let them back in. They got the turnover. They didn't get points. And then they let the Ravens close out the half by getting a field goal. And it really could have been a momentum swing if they wanted to. But the reason why they bring that up is because they came out in the second half and they were like, no, we're just going to stomp on your throats now. We didn't do it at the end of the first half. So let's do it to start the second half. And from the beginning of the second half on, they didn't let the momentum swing, right? Like, they came out and they put a stop to what could have been a possible momentum swing for Baltimore, and they just extended their lead, right? You know, they ran the ball like surprisingly well in this game. Mahomes was spreading the ball all over the place. Andy had a great game plan, and to Xavier Worthy's credit, like, he was a game changer in this game. He was the best player on offense in this game, aside from Patrick Mahomes, and the Ravens knew it. The Ravens respected Xavier Worthy coming in this game. They put Marlon Humphrey on him. Marlon Humphrey is arguably their best cornerback. He's their most seasoned veteran. He's the guy who you would expect them to play on the Chiefs' number 1 wide receiver, and they tried manning him up. And until Marlon Humphrey went out, he made Marlon Humphrey's day miserable.
Yeah,
miserable. He owned Marlon Humphrey until Marlon Humphrey went out of the game, right? Like Humphrey just could not hang with Xavier Worthy today. And that route he broke off where the defensive back fell on his ass, I mean, that was one of the best routes I've seen a wide receiver run in a long time. Like Worthy is the real deal. And I think that the rest of the NFL is on notice right now. Everybody who said the dynasty is done, like, we always said, like, okay, just pump the brakes. It's early in the season. Like, a lot of crap's going to happen between now and the middle of the season. Like the Chargers are going to lose to the Giants, right? Like teams are going to lay an egg, right? And then the Chiefs are going to get healthy, and they're going to figure it out, right? And that's what we saw. And I think that now at 2-2, the Chiefs are primed to make a run.
And I'm sure there's going to be performances here moving forward where we're like disappointed and know that they can play better than that. Like, they're not going to be immune from that. And this isn't just a Xavier Worthy thing, but it was just, they got up and played today. Like, they showed up and they executed, and the game plan just totally clicked in a way we haven't seen it in a long time. And a large part of it is that Xavier Worthy is given is opening things up and giving everybody more space and finding areas that they can get open. Like, Travis Kelce was having more success in that intermediate, like across the field stuff, because Worthy's opening things up down the field. And now Tyquan Thornton's a guy that defenses have to game plan for. Like, Patrick Mahomes hit 9 different pass catchers today, Rocky. It's the first time in a long time, like, because we talk about like Mahomes struggles and how it's upsetting when like these guys aren't executing and when it seems like they don't know where they're supposed to go. And it's like, Rocky, like, it really puts into perspective like what Mahomes has been operating with all this time, and the ridiculous lack of talent that he has found success with, because you see Worthy is just a different player than everybody else out there, and how much easier he was making it for them on offense. And then I think we'll see the same thing when they get Rashee Rice back, and all of a sudden this team is primed to go on a run. Like, just after, you know, the first 3 weeks of the season, people are saying, oh, Chargers are going to win that division. Like, Chiefs are done. What if the Chiefs don't make the playoffs? Now the Chiefs are only a game back of the Los Angeles Chargers. They also lost their left tackle Joe Alt today to an ankle injury, and I think it's a high ankle sprain, so he might miss some time here. And then they already have their superstar Rashawn Slater, who's out for the entire season. All of a sudden, like, the Chiefs are after 4 weeks of the season, the Chiefs are right back in all of this. They're going to be the team that everybody is talking about on Monday. And the Chargers are banged up and just got upset by a Giants team that the Chiefs dominated in the second half last week.
Not only that, the Giants just got beat by a Giants team. I mean, the Chargers got beat by a Giants team that just went to their rookie quarterback because they had to bench their starter. And it's not like that rookie quarterback lit up the scoreboard today. Like, he protected the ball, but that was about it. The Giants lost Malik Neighbors for the season in this game, right? Like, it's not like the Giants came out and just like decided to like find their form all of a sudden and just light up the scoreboard. No, they came out and the Chargers just laid an egg against them. And it's crazy to think that in this game that you associate the Ravens with having like this like intense pass rush and being like these hard hitting defensive juggernauts. And yeah, Kyle Van Noy was out. Matabuki is possibly out for his career. Maybe, like, they don't really know what's going on with his neck right now. So they are very banged up, but the offensive line just like handled the pass rush, with the exception of like that late first half blitz, like cover zero situation that they kind of caught the Chiefs number with in the last drive of the half. The Chiefs protected Mahomes very well. He had a lot of time to work in the pocket, a lot of time to read the defense. And, you know, guys who we've been talking about have been struggling, like Kingsley Suamataia and Jawan Taylor. Like Jawan Taylor's name, like the greatest compliment you can give an offensive lineman is you don't say his name all day long, right? And like, we didn't hear Kingsley or Jawan's name mentioned at all until the fourth quarter when Tony Romo and Jim Nantz are like, oh, hey, we haven't said Jawan Taylor's name all day. How crazy is that? You know, and it is crazy considering the way he's played this year, but it's also hats off to the offensive line's performance. Like they played their minds out today, and they dominated the point of attack. They dominated the line of scrimmage. The Chiefs won the trenches on both sides of the ball. Let's just be honest. Like they just, at all three levels of the game, the Chiefs just outplayed the Ravens in every aspect of football today, with the exception of field goals. Field goals are probably the only place where you'd say maybe the Ravens played better. But at the same time, the Chiefs had more opportunities because they only punted the ball once. Like, the Chiefs only punted the ball once in this entire game. That's how effective the offense was. That's impressive when you're playing a team like the Ravens.
That was with Gardner Minshew in the game too. Was their only so
because they had to bench Mahomes because performance issue, performance based play.
Yeah, the offensive line was really good. The protection was solid. I think Mahomes did get sacked once, right? But overall, like, the protection held up. And really, when the pressure was getting there, a lot of the times it was just because guys weren't getting open all of the time. But Mahomes was still able to buy enough time and figure things out and go make some plays. And for the second straight week, he doesn't have to run the ball a bunch, Rocky. He's only got 4 carries for 5 yards in this game. And I think the Ravens were trying to, like, pay attention to that to keep him from, like, picking up those devastating long runs like later on in the game or something like that. But he didn't really need to because he was so effective. And, like, the Juju Smith-Schuster touchdown, like, he ripped that one in there. And I think that was in part because on the first drive of the game, he almost had Juju for a touchdown and it got tipped at the line of scrimmage. And so I think he was pissed that he missed that one and they had to settle for 3. And so the second one, like, he made sure he got it. Like, this is the kind of performance that, like, they're turning things around, and we knew that they could. And so, like, we were never saying the sky was falling after the first 2 games of the season, but we hadn't seen them play the way that we know they were capable of playing until the second half against the Giants. And now with Xavier Worthy back in the mix today, they looked like a totally different offense. Like, it was just so fun to watch, and it hadn't been that fun in a while. I do want to talk about Rashard Smith too, because, like, he has definitely found a role within the offense, and it's probably not going to get a ton of carries. Like, I expect Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt to continue to fill that role of, like, the early down carries when they do decide to run the football. But they went to Rashard Smith multiple times in this game. He had multiple opportunities and design plays for him. And we also saw Pacheco drop, like, just have, like, a brutal drop early in the game that would have been like a walk-in touchdown if he just hangs on to the ball. But Rashard Smith is giving the Chiefs a little bit of juice. And I think it's helping the rushing attack, and it's helping that the Chiefs are actually just trying to run to their strengths too, instead of trying to, like, get these guys outside or whatever, because it's just not the types of players that they have. But Rashard Smith is that kind of guy. Like, I know me and you were lower on Rashard Smith than a lot of other people, but him having this type of role, like, early season, like, it gives the Chiefs a little bit more juice out of the backfield, and his ability as a receiver is certainly something that's intriguing for their offense moving forward.
Oh, 100%. And, like, yeah, he definitely has skill as a receiving back out of the backfield. Like, he definitely brings juice out of the backfield as a receiving back. I thought it was like he did only average 2.2 yards a carry today when he ran the ball. So he does seem to be just limited pretty much to receiving duties, which is fine because the Chiefs just want to pass the ball anyway. They don't want to run the ball. I thought it was kind of telling that Kareem Hunt almost doubled the touches of Isaiah Pacheco today, that they have kind of like you could say Pacheco's their number. They can say Pacheco's their starter all they want, but when they need to pick up a first down on 3rd and short, they go to Kareem Hunt every single time. Kareem Hunt had 13 carries to Isaiah Pacheco's 7. Like you could say Pacheco's your starting running back, but a starting running back has more than 7 touches in a game, right? At this point, it's a committee backfield, and that's at most, right? And so, but it worked for them. Like, they weren't overly exceptional at running the ball, but they had 3 guys with over 30 yards rushing. Right. Yeah. So you put them all together and you have a 100-yard rushing day, which is respectable. Right. And so, but the Chiefs, like Mahomes when he throws the ball, the Chiefs are just going to spread it around. Everybody's going to get a couple of plays. Everybody's going to get a couple of touches. People are going to do their job. And it's going to be really hard to stop because you don't know where it's going to come from. You don't know who's going to get the ball at any point in time. It could be Hollywood Brown. It could be Juju Smith-Schuster. It could be Xavier Worthy. It could be Kareem Hunt. It could be Isaiah Pacheco. It could be Travis Kelce, who also, like, Travis Kelce and Juju Smith-Schuster quietly had very impressive days today, right? Like, they both just, like, had very workman-like days where they went out, did their job, and they picked up crucial first downs and they picked up crucial plays. and they kept the chains moving, right? Like there was nothing super flashy aside from Juju Smith-Schuster's touchdown, really, that they did. But it was just they went out, they were in the right place, and they made nice plays. And really, that's what you need. You just need people to go out there, do their job, and give number 15 places to put the ball, because he's going to find the open man as long as that man can find the green grass in the open space, right? So I thought it was an awesome performance all around by the offense.
Yeah, and I'm fine with this being the rotation of the running back room. Like, it might hurt my Isaiah Pacheco fantasy football stock, but I really don't care if they're actually semi-effective and Mahomes is going out here throwing for 3 or 4 touchdowns a game. Like, if we're getting back to that kind of offense, I am totally fine with this running back deployment, because at least Brashard Smith is bringing something else to the table than what we've seen from Pacheco and Hunt. So, yeah, on the offensive side of the ball, just everything clicked for the first time in a long time, and it felt as easy as we've seen it in like 2 years. So really fun performance for those guys, and nice to see it actually like working and see the players like out there like having fun on that side of the ball again. But we have to talk about the defense, because I think there was no bigger overreaction to anything about this Kansas City Chiefs team than the defense in week 1 against the Chargers. And it was bad in week 1. But Rocky, like, I remember talking about it in that post-game show after week 1. I was like, yeah, it's week 1, though. The Chargers clearly caught them off guard by coming out there and just slinging it after being one of the highest like run first teams in the NFL last year. And now all of a sudden this season, they were like, we have Justin Herbert and we like our pass catchers, so we're going to start throwing the football at one of the higher rates in the NFL. And the Chiefs just simply didn't seem like they were prepared for it in week 1. And there was still their secondary so young too, that like we talked about that, like there was going to be some growing pains with those guys. And by week 4, the Chiefs defense has now been great the past few games. Their secondary looks like it's one of the more talented secondaries in football right now. Trent McDuffie has been playing lights out. Jalen Watson has really settled in and is looking great, like he did last season before he got injured. And then Noel Williams is coming in and getting some snaps here and there and like making his presence known every time you see him on the football field. Chamari Connor has seemingly gotten better, Rocky. And I think the Chiefs have stopped putting him in situations that he's just not very that just simply aren't his skill set. But he's played better. And Brian Cook is playing really well. Like Jaden Hicks has gotten better. Chris Roland Wallace keeps coming in and giving them meaningful snaps. Like this secondary, and that's with getting absolutely nothing from Christian Fulton so far. Like this secondary looks like it's one of the better secondaries in football. And everybody's going to sleep on this Chiefs performance, on this defensive performance, because the Chiefs defense just simply doesn't get a ton of love.
Yeah, 100%. The secondary's been playing lights out. Like Lamar Jackson had nowhere to throw today, and you saw it multiple times that like the 2 sacks that the Chiefs had today, they were coverage sacks, right? Like the secondary just held up, and he had nowhere to throw the ball. And Lamar Jackson, to be fair, does not like throwing into tight windows. Right, he's athletic, he's got a strong arm, but he's not the most accurate passer. Like I think we can say that fairly, right? Like he struggles with his accuracy from time to time. I don't think he really loves throwing into tight windows. And so the Chiefs secondary held up, and he had nowhere to go with the ball. And he took a couple sacks, or he tried to scramble, and he get tackled 2 yards after the run. I thought that the Chiefs, defensive line also played extremely well. Putting a spy on Lamar Jackson is the antidote to him right now, and he has to figure out a way to overcome it, because right now he holds onto the ball for way too long trying to find an open man before he decides to try to run the ball, and then it's too late, and then the spy just gets him, right? Like if he's gonna tuck the ball and run, he needs to go 1, 2, first read, it's not there, and then go, right? If you're Lamar Jackson, but he's not doing that. He's trying to be a pocket passer too much, and I think the Chiefs know that, and they spied him, and he had nowhere to go. And they completely shut him down and made him make multiple errors, like multiple problems, like that interception that he threw to Leo Chenal. First of all, that's probably the best play of Leo Chenal's entire career. Like it's up there with blocking the field goal, because like he just straight up like I didn't know Chenal. Honest to God, I didn't
on Mark Andrews. I didn't know Leo
Yeah.
had that in him.
Yeah, I didn't know Leo had coverage skills like that. I didn't know Leo could drop back into coverage like that and then turn around and make that play on the ball. And that was amazing. Like that was the best play I think I've ever seen Leo Chenal make in his entire career on defense. But like, yeah, like the fact that he had nowhere to go with the ball and he was getting frustrated. He was throwing the ball away, right? And then even late in the game, like, of course, it's only Cooper Rush because they knocked Lamar out of the game. But like Cooper Rush throwing the ball away on fourth down because he had nowhere to go with it and because he was getting pressure, like that's huge. That's huge. Like Lamar Jackson having an intentional grounding because he had nowhere to go with the ball and he was under pressure. That's what you want to see out of a championship caliber defense. Like you're going up against what's considered the cream of the crop, one of the premier teams in the AFC, regardless of their record coming in this game, and you planted your flag and you said, no, like, hell no, this is our house and we're going to dominate this game. And Noel Williams, like you said, came out and made like just straight up, just like manned up and just dominated on the outside. Like the thing is that like Zay Flowers had a couple of nice plays in this game, but other than that, like their wide receivers were super quiet. Like you didn't hear anything out of them, like pretty much the entire game. And I'll say this, like, I mean, it's probably John Harbaugh's fault, but the fact that Derrick Henry only had 8 touches in this game, like I know you're playing from behind, but like, what in the hell are you doing? What in the hell? You got Derrick Henry, you only give him 8 touches. This is like 5 times in a row the Chiefs have held Derrick Henry to under 100 yards. I know he had 5.2 yards per carry, but like the Chiefs, whether it's they just like get out in the lead and they keep so that the Ravens have to throw the ball or they shut down Henry, they have found a formula to negating Derrick Henry in games. And this goes back to when they were with the Titans. Like even when he was with the Titans, like the Chiefs have found a way to take Derrick Henry out of football games. Well, and that's huge.
And really the biggest issue when the Chiefs have gone up against the Ravens, like most recently, is not even Derrick Henry rushing. It's Lamar Jackson. Like Lamar has been burning them with his legs the past few times they've played. And like that's why Spag's game plan was so impressive. Like they totally shut that down. And unfortunately, Lamar Jackson gets hurt in this one, and I hope it's not serious because I think Lamar is one of the most special players in football, and he's fun to watch. And I think that the game is better when Lamar and the Ravens are healthy and they're a good football team. But the Chiefs also just know how to play this team. They know how to give them problems, and we've seen them do it to this team over and over again. And that's even with the Ravens, like beating the Chiefs a time or two, like over this run. Like, but Spags always gives Lamar some problems. Like the Chiefs always play them tough. And it was just awesome to see the defense go out and do it the way that they did it. Like Nick Bolton was blitzing his ass off, like was just absolutely out of his mind in making Lamar Jackson's life hell today. And then the defensive line, like overall, like I do still think there's some issues with the pass rush, Rocky. Like I still think that the pass rush needs to be better. And maybe it, maybe they do wind up getting more out of Ashton Gelati and Omar Norman Lott as they continue to develop throughout the course of the season. But like that's my only concern about the Chiefs defense right now with the way the secondary is playing. Like their secondary looks fantastic. They just need a little bit more juice from the pass rush. And then I think we're talking about one of the top defenses in the NFL again.
For sure. And I'll say this for Ashton Gelati today. There was a couple of like plays spanned there in the first half where it's not going to show up in the box score because he didn't make the tackle, but where like Lamar went to go run the ball and he helped outside containment. Like that play with Shamari Connor, when Shamari Connor made the nice tackle out on the boundary and stopped Lamar from turning the corner when he was trying to run the ball. Like Ashton Gelati playing, like staying home and playing containment and forcing Lamar to bounce it outside, set up Shamari Connor to make that tackle. Like it's not going to show up in the box score, but I feel like Ashton Gelati, like from like a run defense or just like an overall defensive play, like he played fairly well today, right? Like he didn't get a lot of push in the pass rush, sure, but like he did enough to impact the game and to impact Lamar and to get Lamar off his base and to force him like out of his game plan. But I think like going back to the second, I think the most impressive thing we talked about the wide receivers is like we talked about Zay Flowers. Sure, Zay Flowers has 7 receptions for 74 yards. Okay, he had a decent day. But other than that, you have Rashad Bateman 1 for 24, Tylan Wallace 1 for 14, and D Hop, his only reception comes on a play where it gets called back for a penalty, right? So D Hop ends up with a goose egg in the box score today. And then Mark Andrews has 7 receptions for 30 yards. Like the Chiefs secondary completely shut down the Ravens passing game. And when you're playing from behind like the Ravens are, like those are the sort of games. These are the sort of games where like you expect like the quarterback to have like the opposing quarterback to have 300 yards passing because it's all garbage makeup time and they're just trying to throw the ball all over the place and come back from behind. And the Chiefs didn't even allow them to do that, right? Like this was a very suffocating, just kind of like boa constrictor performance by the defense where they didn't give up anything big. They kept everything in front of them, and then they forced the Ravens to make bad decisions, right? Like it's not like the box score isn't going to show up with a ton of sacks, ton of forced fumbles. They had 1 interception that was really nice, but it's really just like taking away all the good options from the offense and leaving them with only bad decisions is what the Chiefs defense did today.
Yeah, they were fantastic overall, and Spags was just out of his mind today. Like, I think this Chiefs defense, and I didn't want to overreact after week 1, but like they have been good since then, and you know they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, but they didn't give up a ton. Like overall, they played that game pretty well, and then they're super impressive against the Giants, so much so that the Giants decide they're going to bench Russell Wilson. Like that's how good the Chiefs were against the Giants. And then they go out and they just shut down the Baltimore Ravens. And this is after like the Ravens start that game, that opening drive touchdown score, making things look easy with their opening script of plays. And then after that, the Chiefs defense was just in control the rest of the way. And this secondary is really good, Rocky. Like, and it's got a chance to even get better if they can get anything out of Christian Fulton. And then hopefully you don't have to see guys like Najee Johnson come into the game. I know Joshua Williams was in the game on that late Justice Hill 70-yard touchdown run.
Good hustle, Joshua Williams.
But their safeties have been good too. And I think that was the biggest question. And after week 1, there was a lot of people saying like, oh, Chiefs have a problem at safety. And like through the first month of the NFL season, I think I'm more confident in the Chiefs secondary than I am like anything else about this team right now.
Oh, I agree. The secondary looks awesome, right? Like Noah Williams, like he looks really impressive. Jalen Watson continues to get better. And here's the thing is, like you say they get anything out of Christian Fulton, they're going to be even better, and that's 100% true. But like Noah Williams is only going to get better. Like he's 4 games into his career as a player, right? Like he's still learning. And so like you assume that like Noah Williams isn't even close to reaching his potential yet, right? And so this secondary has a chance to be something really special. And Brian Cook, you said earlier, Brian Cook's been playing really well. Jaden Hicks has been playing really well. Like the safeties haven't been a question in the last couple of weeks. And I think a lot of that has to do with them playing kind of like that rolling zone defense a little bit. And then putting spies and just kind of just really trying to take away what the other team wants to do well. And I mean, that's Bill Belichick's, that was his like go-to for years, right? That's how he won so many Super Bowls, and it's going to be a Hall of Fame head coach, you know? And so like, I think that this secondary could be something special. And, you know, the defensive line is good enough. I feel like it's hard. This is really a hard game to judge the defensive line based upon because of the situation with Chris Jones, right? Chris Jones didn't show up at the stadium until 3 p.m., right? Like he missed warmups. He was coming from a family funeral. You know, his aunt passed away. May she rest in peace. Sorry for your loss, Mr. Jones. But like that's like a lot. Like that's a lot. It's a huge emotional swing to have to play under. right? And so like you don't like obviously he made that awesome stop late in the game, but like it's fair to say that like it's hard to judge this defensive line performance based upon with that variable thrown in, right? Like you don't know if that was a positive or a negative or it was neutral. Like you just don't know, right? And so with that, like I would say the defense gets a passing grade. Like the defensive line gets a passing grade in this game, and then the linebackers and the secondary get an A+, right? For the most part, like the linebackers had some struggles early in the game, but as the game went on, they played really, really well.
Yeah. Just really impressive performance all around for the Kansas City Chiefs in week 4. And, it's funny, even though I picked the Ravens to win this game because I just felt like the Ravens needed it more. And coming out of this one, I feel like my thought process on that, like absolutely nailed it. Cause now coming out of this one, it feels like things are lost for the Baltimore Ravens sitting at 1-3. And now Lamar Jackson's hurt, Roquan Smith's hurt. Marlon Humphreys hurt. Like they are just falling apart. And, hopefully Lamar Jackson doesn't wind up missing significant time or something like that. But the Baltimore Ravens are in a bad place right now. And the Chiefs dominating this game, sitting at 2-2 now, only a game back in the division. And the Chargers are pretty banged up themselves. Like everything feels within reach now. And in week 5, you got a Monday Night Football matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars, which obviously I think we're going to be picking the Chiefs to win that game, Rocky, but Jacksonville's kind of a sneaky team, though. Like they had a big win against the 49ers today, and it's not really the Liam Cohen-led offense that is like putting on shows every week, but the Jaguars defense is like good. Like it looks really good so far through the first month of the season. So I think Jacksonville low-key, like, it's a decent test for the Chiefs offense in week 5.
So first of all, oh ye of little faith, you doubting Thomas for picking the Ravens over the Chiefs. I never had a doubt in my mind because I think it's fair at this point to start questioning if the Ravens have a big game problem. Like they just seem to fold in like in the playoffs, they fold. In big games, they fold. They have twice they've gone into the fourth quarter with leads and they folded this year. I think that there's a legitimate questions to ask about the Baltimore Ravens if they can play in big games, right? And if and whether or not Lamar Jackson is a big game quarterback at this point. But that being said, sure, the Jacksonville Jaguars look good. I picked them to win their division this year in a pretty weak division. I think they're the best team in their division. But I think that the Chiefs are going to be fine. Like the Chiefs are going to come out with a good game plan. They're going to deal with Trevor Lawrence. We'll see. It's going to be our first. I'm excited to see what Travis Hunter's all about, right? Like what is this both ways kind of look like, in up close and personal. And Travis Etienne is obviously a problem in the running game. He had a really big run and a really good game today.
Yeah.
And so their defense is good. They're a really good football team. You got to go out and you got to be prepared for them.
Yeah.
But I think that as far as the games you have circled on the schedule, like the ones that you think the Chiefs could have as a slip up, this could be a slip up game. This could, because they do have the ability to catch the Chiefs off guard. I remember years, probably 3 or 4 years ago when Christian McCaffrey still played for the Panthers, and Matt Rule was the head coach, and the Panthers were having a horrible season because nothing had kind of worked out for them. But then they came out and kind of they played the Chiefs really well and really hard, and it came down to the wire, and they almost beat the Chiefs. And everybody was like, "Whoa, what happened to the Panthers?" Because they had a great game plan and they had some skilled players, and Christian McCaffrey played out of his mind in that game. I think that there's a chance for a game like that against the Jaguars, but I'm not going to lie. I got faith in this defense, man. I got faith in Patrick Mahomes that they're going to figure it out. I can see I don't want to sit here and jinx the team by any means, but I can see the Chiefs going on like a 6-7 game winning streak here. Pretty easy.
Well, and I do think the Jaguars are like a little bit more of a testy matchup than we probably would have thought before the season starts. But the Kansas City Chiefs are a better football team than the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you should win that game. And then following that, you've got a huge matchup with the Detroit Lions, who remember back to week 1, they had a tough performance against the Green Bay Packers. And then since then, Detroit has looked like Detroit. They're same offensive powerhouse that they've been for the last several seasons. And actually, they've got a little bit of a defense now. And their defense is actually fun with Aiden Hutchinson back and healthy. So they got to win that game in week 5. And then we'll see how they do in a couple weeks against the Detroit Lions. But everything trending in the right direction for the Kansas City Chiefs. But huge win as the Chiefs climb back to 500. Everything that they want out of this football season still within their grasp after a great performance against the Baltimore Ravens. So thank you guys for hanging out with us on the Foolish Club post-game show. He's Rocky Magaña. I'm Steven Serda. We'll be back this week. Tons of daily and nightly content, nightly fix live Monday through Thursday. Show and BK, Beach Season, all the shows that you know and love right here on Foolish Club Media. So thank you guys. As always, subscribe, rate, and review. And we will be back tomorrow as we turn the page towards week 5 for the Kansas City Chiefs.